Start now. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Devi Subhadra Mai ki Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gaur ki Jai. Nitai Chaitanya ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurpulmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome for morning Krishna Katha from Srivas Angan, Bhakti Sadan chapter of ISKCON Seshandripuram. So today I have been asked to discuss the topic where Krishna and Balram, they recover the son of their spiritual master. So we will discuss that pastime, the wonderful pastime, lot of lessons and very sweet. And also this showcases the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whose power means, we all know that, but being there. So is it audible now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, so we will discuss this pastime. So this pastime happens immediately after Kamsa, the uncle of Krishna and Balram, that he is killed by Krishna. So post this, they are actually the meeting of Krishna and Balram with their parents, Devaki and Vasudev. That is the initial starting section of this one. So actually when Krishna and Balram come and see them, they were actually in a mood of reverential worship. So they see them as the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they were standing in that pose, like, with folded hands and, in a very reverential position. That's the word Prabhupada uses. And Krishna is saying here, my father and mother are standing like this in a reverential position to me, but they are not supposed to be like this to me. So he is immediately, uses Yoga Maya on them. So it's mentioned, Prabhupada writes, in the material world, it is this illusory energy which keeps people, in relationship with their children. So that illusionary energy makes them think they are our children and really care for them 24/7. Particularly when we see the mothers who of very just born children, how they go 24/7 taking care of these children, and how much they are, it's like connected completely. They see that the child as an extension of them, and they don't see it as another living entity. They are seeing them as their own part. And this goes on. Even later, the parents have so much affection for the children. They will do any amount of sacrifice to their children. We see this even in today's context, how parents, the children are all living somewhere in US, wherever. The parents, even the children, 30, 35 years, they give birth in their thing, but their parents just go there, and even US, you are not allowed to do that. It's like labor. So they don't allow, but the parents go in different guise and go and serve their children, go through their childbirth time and all that. And many other things, how much parents put in effort to educate their children and give them all kinds of comfort. So many things like this we are seeing. So that is because of this illusionary energy Krishna's Prabhupada is writing. And Krishna is putting his parents in Yoga Maya so that they can also be in that mood of that relating to Krishna and Balaram as children and not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then once they come to this consciousness, then their reverential position changes and they are looking at them with love and affection and they want to embrace and all that. So Krishna at that point in time tells them, please forgive us. Somehow we were not able to serve you very well. And there Krishna is writing, Krishna is saying, by the mercy of the parents, the children, the one soul gets the body of a human being. And in that body of a human being, one can nicely perform artha, kama, all these things they can perform. So they can do religious activities, then they can get a lot of wealth, and they can even look at liberation. And ultimately, talking again about liberation, only in the human form that one can actually seek this liberation, which cannot be achieved in any other form. Therefore, how grateful we are to you that you have been our parents. And Prabhupada also comments there. Therefore, it is the duty of the children to really care for their parents. And it is mentioned in the scriptures that if you are in a position to care for your parents, and you can define it in your own way, what is the position to care for? We can say, no, I have to study. Therefore I am going completely out of the country. I can't care for my parents. We can give our definitions, that's different. But I'm not going into the details of what it is, but it is mentioned, if you are in a position to care for your parents, and if you don't, then the law of nature is that you are punished badly. So it says we will eat our own flesh. This is the kind of sinful reactions that one gets. That's mentioned by Prabhupada in that in the Krishna book. So they are remembering all these things so that we could not do this for you. And they're saying it is because the situation was not in our control. So here that is defined that, it's not, we couldn't do anything. It's not in our control. We didn't do it wantonly. That's Krishna's Leah to his parents. So he says, forgive us. Now the parents have no words to respond to. They simply start crying and then embrace Krishna and Balaram. They embrace Krishna and Balaram nicely. So that's the initial, and that way he pacifies them because they have been in separation. And Prabhupada also writes, they were denied. And Krishna is saying, you were denied the happiness of enjoying your children's childhood and their, that initial stage of from childhood to that transformation to the youth, the adolescent age and all that. And he says, that's a very beautiful phase for something which the parents also enjoy, right? So there's something that one rasa which there's an exchange between the parent and mother. We are doing so much for the children, but what do we also get? We see happily the child, the first step when the child takes. Many people are waiting with their camera to take that photo of the first step when the child takes, and then they blow it up and then they put it up. We can see such things. So this gives immense pleasure to the parents. So he's mindful. He's saying, so you missed all of these things. And that's a great experience, but you missed it. And Prabhupada says, indirectly, he's also glorifying Yashoda and Nanda Baba, saying they were fortunate to get this. Right? They were fortunate to get this, and he glorifies them in that way, like that. But somehow this set of parents, they could not get it, and he is very sympathetic towards that situation, and he acknowledges that somehow you could not get this, and please forgive us, kind of a thing. So then the parents embrace them nicely and with a lot of tears and all that. But in that way, he pacifies them and sort of removes all their agony of not being with the children. But their primary thing was safety of their children, which is most important. That one they experienced so much. Even though Nanda Baba and Yashoda also experienced day in and day out, here Devaki and Vasudeva also experienced that, That's another feeling, right? The child does not come back by 5 o'clock from school, then you call up the school, oh, what happened? My child is not back. So that is another kind of even though sometimes it's very anxious, but that's a nice rasa in one sense. The feeling of, oh, where is my child? How is he doing? Or how is she doing? That kind of a thing. So he sort of gives them all that and makes them light, and they become happy in that way. Then there is also this, because Nand Baba also had come and they were also there and they have been there for some time. Now it's time for them to also leave. So they decided to go back. And Krishna and Balram again pacifies Nand Baba also and says that, you have been our parents, we were orphans. Just who's saying this thing? Krishna is saying, we were orphans. Somehow, by whatever thing, our parents had to abandon us. Some words like that. Our parents have to abandon us, and you gave us shelter. And you went through all these anxieties, all that Krishna is saying, and we are ever grateful to you for all that. And now in this situation, these parents also need us because they have missed us for so long. So for some time we will remain here and we will certainly come back. So these are words of Krishna and Balram. And they are also, all the friends and many other devotees from Vrindavan have come. So he pacifies all of them. And lot of, the gifts, so many things have all been made that, given to them, utensils, so many things like that. It's all offered to them. And they are also pacified and then they are sent off. So this is happening. Now, further what? Now it is the responsibility of Devaki and Vasudev. Now that their children are back, it is their duty to take care of their children and whatever needs to be done to the children. Now the responsibility has moved on from Nand Baba and Yashoda to Devaki and Vasudev, and they have to perform those responsibilities as parents. So the first thing they do is that, in those things, the Brahmanas, the Vaishyas, the Kshatriyas, they have this one of the samskaras, which is basically to perform Upanayana to the children, particularly the boy children. They perform Upanayana, and that is called like a second birth. So there is traditionally you have your family priest is there, and they do these ceremonies. So they have been given Upanayana, and subsequently they are also given in an initiation kind of, it's initiation given by Sandipani Muni. And the process there is, once that initiation happens, it's like a Gurukula kind of setup, where the boys will have to leave their home and go and live with the spiritual master. So it will be very in an austere way. You may be the son of the emperor himself, like a Kshatriya, and therefore sometimes you may be the son of the emperor. Because in Kshatriya there are a lot, some who are smaller kings, some who are medium kings, some who are bigger kings, are ultimately the topmost king in that area. So the emperor. Whoever you are, when you go there to the ashram of the spiritual master, all are treated equally. You are a Kshatriya, you are a Vaishya, you are a Brahmana, that doesn't matter. All children are treated equally. And they have to go through a lot of austerities, because this second birth or the Upanayana actually means coming into starting the Vedic studies, understanding that I am not the body. And the real knowledge starts from there. The real birth as a human being takes starting there. It's a way to actually bring about that transformation in the child. Therefore, the boys have to be there and follow those very strict rules and regulations, the rules and regulations of brahmacharya, because that's the stage after childhood. It's brahmacharya. So Krishna and Balram very nicely, perfectly perform all these things. It's mentioned. And even though they are the supreme personality of Godhead, why Krishna needs one spiritual master? He is the original spiritual master. That is the question of him having a spiritual master. That is there. So Krishna and Balram, they just follow what is this process because they want all the human beings, they want to set an example to see, okay, this is how when the Lords themselves did it, we should also do it. So that lesson the Lords wanted to teach, so they accepted the spiritual master. And they followed all the rules and regulations very strictly, right from performing their Gayatri, Japa to all other austerities, and also Brahmacharya being moved into that from childhood to the youth. The Brahmacharya needs to be followed. So they are doing it very nicely. And okay, that is fine, but what is taught there? So in the school, the ashram, what is happening? So that is being mentioned. But these are not ordinary children, right? So they have to learn, but how is their learning? That is actually the major part of this chapter. I will try to read some of it because it's very nicely mentioned that there are, like, the children have to learn subject matter. And Krishna and Balram, they actually learn one subject matter one day. And in the night, they are already expert. So you learn in the morning, by night you are an expert. I mean, just imagine, and there it's mentioned there are 64 of such things, and in 64 days they learned everything. I mean, you just can't imagine this. A normal child, however brilliant he is, and the kind of things we are talking about here, when you go through, you can say, however genius you are, you can't do that. But that is the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And again, depending on what background you are a Kshatriya, Vaishya, or a Brahmana, your curriculum also maybe, changes accordingly. So it's mentioned, they were specifically trained in military science, politics, and ethics for a Kshatriya. Military science, politics, and ethics. Politics includes such department of knowledge as how to make peace, how to fight, how to pacify, how to divide and rule, and how to give shelter. So there's like something called a Chanakya Niti. So sometimes in politics there is diplomacy. This word, how to divide and rule. These are all, sometimes we may think, oh, this is bad, but that is politics. So sometimes we also say, no, oh, devotees are doing politics here. So sometimes these are techniques required for administration. I'm not talking about devotees. There is Vaishnava. Prabhupada says no diplomacy when you're a devotee. When you're a ruler, you need to know some of these things. Rule on how to give shelter. All these items were fully explained and instructed to Krishna and Balrama. There, it's mentioned. Some of the things that they learned are mentioned here. It's nice than me saying, because it's very, I think I may read in between some portions so that you can get the exact words of what Prabhupada is writing. They learned to sing, how to compose songs, and how to recognize the different tunes. They learned the favorable and unfavorable accents and meters, how to sing different kinds of rhythms and melodies, and how to play the different instruments and all that also they learned. Then how to dance to the rhythm of melody and different songs. Then they learned how to write drama. And they learned various types of paintings, from simple village arts up to the highest perfectional stage. So the entire length and breadth of all this drama and painting, I mean, you can say one may take a whole lifetime. There are so many musical genius, their whole life is spent only in that. And after so many years also, they say, I am still learning. They have won all the Academy Awards, everything. They will say, I am still learning. But here, Krishna and Balram, in one day, they learned all these things and they have become expert. And that's it. Okay, next subject, okay, drama. Let me, learn that and I become the perfect drama maker, the director, whatever. Okay, that is done. What next? That is the kind of speed at which they were learning, and they were able to display that to the perfection, that skill. And something as simple as, They also learned how to paint tilaka on the face by making different kinds of dots on the forehead and cheeks. Then they learned painting on the floor with the liquid paste of rice and flour. Flour is FLOUR. That is this kind of thing. This rice flour like that one. So this is very important. Like Krishna learning how to do rangoli. This is what it is when he is painting on the floor is basically with flour is rangoli. And he says such painting are very popular at auspicious ceremonies performed as household affairs are in the temple. Prabhupada is writing this. And then they learned how to make nice resting place with flowers and how to decorate clothing and limbs with colorful painting. These are all part of the painting subject. They also learned how to set valuable gems in ornaments. So ornaments means ornament making, if you place it one small inch this way, it gives a different thing. If you see one necklace or something, how it is placed, where it is placed, which items are mixed, which brings that thing out. These are all very highly skillful things. How we change the perception of people mind. Just seeing this color versus that color in this background to that background is all amazing. You can simply bring out that by this minute variations in that people will get it. And these are all very highly skilled jobs, in today's industry. I think India is one of the most popular jewelry making countries, and we export so much to United States of America, I believe. So with all these tariffs, so that's going to be hit big time. So there's a lot of fear. But I'm trying to bring this in the context of how these are all very, very things which are very needed by people, how people pay so much to get this kind of, they enhance the beauty of the person. Then they learned the art of ringing water pots. What is this ringing water pots? You have some pots and inside that you put some water and then you use some sticks to play that pot, like hit that pot, and depending on the level the water is, the sound will vary. So just imagine there are people, I think nowadays they call it Jalataranga. There's an instrument like this. They have some 10, 15 cups and it's filled with water. And each one has a different resonation. They keep tingy, 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 tingy. They keep going and it gives a different sounds like that. So they learned that also. They also learned how to splash water in the river or lakes while taking a bath among friends. So this, I know that means there's some speciality about how do you do that. They learned how to decorate with flowers. This art of decorating can still be seen in various temples of Vrindavana during the summer season. It is called Pulla Badi. So the dais, the throne, the walls and the ceiling are all fully decorated and a small aromatic fountain of flowers is fixed in the center. Because of these floral decorations, the people fatigued from the heat of summer become refreshed. There's a meaning in why they do these things, why you keep a small fountain in between. While it also enhances the aesthetics of that place. Krishna and Balaram learned the art of dressing hair in various styles and fixing helmet in different positions on the head. Now you keep it like this, you slightly tilt it, gives another different beauty. You tilt it this way, another beauty. Add one layer of one color difference, it gives beauty. They learned how to set up a theatrical stage, how to decorate dramatic actors and costumes and with flowers, ornaments over the year, and how to sprinkle sandalwood pulp and water to produce a nice fragrance. How you sprinkle that brings the best of the fragrance to the nose. We can't even think of such things. How to sprinkle it. Then the fragrance can be actually felt nicely. And then they learned the art of performing magical feats. Within the magical field, there are arts called Bahurupi, by which a person dresses himself in such a way that when he approaches a friend, he cannot be recognized. And Krishna and Balaram also learned to make various types of syrups and beverages required at various times, having various tastes and intoxicating effects. So we can see today so many of these beverages and all that has its roots. Ultimately, Krishna is the original source. How to make all of that so nicely. Then how to, that puppets and all, they know how to make that string, how to make it so nicely that it's not even visible. And how to do embroidery, sewing embroidery, these kind of things. Then how to string the various musical instruments, the veena, the violin, there are so many things, tampura. Unless that tuning of that wire, how much tight you make, it makes a lot of difference. That sound sweetness is there in the precise tuning of those things that they learned. Then they learned how to make and solve riddles. They learned the art of how even a dull student, see, this is amazing, no? You see this. They learned the art of how even a dull student can very quickly learn the alphabet and read books. See, today we are all talking how some type techniques which can be used in mathematics to make children learn. There are many things and they charge so much of money, but here this is there. Even earlier, it's not like it's now. How dull students can quickly learn what is the technique. Then they learn how to rehearse and act out a drama. They also studied the art of solving crossword puzzles, filling up the missing spaces and making complete words. They also learned to draw and read pictographic literature. What is this? Comic. Prabhupada is saying. In some countries in the world, pictographic literature is still current. And Prabhupada is giving example. If it's to show that someone is going back home, you draw the backside of the person and then a house in the distance. That means you go back. So how to make that pictorial representation comic very nicely? We all would have younger ages, so many Chanda Mama, so many comics were there. So, but this was there during Krishna's time also, and there he was expert in doing all these things. And they learned how to recognize valuable jewels by studying their luster and color. Then they learned the art of placing the jewel in gold and silver settings so that they look very beautiful. I talked about this earlier also. How to put these things in a way that they look beautiful. They also learned how to study soil and minerals and find minerals. So Prabhupada is writing this study of studying soil and finding minerals is very, very important today. It's a lot of money business. There's good there. What does that say? There's rare earth. So many things they are talking about. How to know where what is there. It's not an easy thing. And Prabhupada says by this, it looks like in those days it is common knowledge. Everybody knew how to do these things. So today it's a very big expert science. If someone learns that, then they are very immediately recruited by big mining firms. And then he says, they learned to study herbs and plants to discover how they would act as medicine for different ailments, Ayurveda. Expert, Krishna and Balram. By studying the different species of plants, they learned how to crossbreed plants and trees and get different types of fruits. So today these things are happening. Sometimes we are saying, oh, we are, what do you call that? They are making brinjals.
Genetically modified.
Genetically modified. It was there during Krishna's time. And he was expert. Unfortunately, we are not experts, so we are messing up with that and making problems for our health with this genetically modified food. But Krishna was expert. And ultimately, he was the one who made all these fruits and plants in the first place. And he's also seeing how to combine and, do different kind of things. They also learned how to train and engage rams and cocks in fighting for sport. Then they learned how to teach parrots to speak and to answer the questions of human beings. They learned practical psychology. This is hypnotism. How to influence others' mind and thus induce another to act according to what your own desire. Sometimes it is dangerous. So we should be careful. Another one. They learn how to wash hair, dye it in different colors and curl it in different ways. So looks like we have not moved. We talk about, oh, we have, today's world, we are in a very, we have changed. Nothing has changed. We do all these things even today, right? Dye in different colors and curl it in different ways. They learn the art of telling what is written in someone's book without actually seeing it. These are all learnings, not because they are Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is some techniques by which you can know that. So this is taught to all the children. It depends on how much children get it. But Krishna and Balram got it fully. They learn to tell what is contained in another's fist. I mean, children play, no? Now tell me what I have in my hand. That kind of things. Prabhupada said, sometimes children imitate this art, although not very accurately. But he says, but there is an art. He's telling these children do all these things. Sometimes they don't get it accurate. But there is an art by which one can understand and actually tell what is held within the fist. Krishna and Balram learned how to speak and understand the language of various countries. Not only did they learn the language of human beings, Krishna could also speak even with animals and birds. Evidence of this is found in the Vaishnava literature compiled by the Goswamis. Then they learned how to make carriages and airplanes from flowers. Airplanes from flowers. It is said in the Ramayana that after defeating Ravana, Ramachandra was carried from Lanka to Bharatavarsha on a plain of flowers called a Pushparath. Krishna and Balram then learnt the art of foretelling events by seeing signs. So the earlier one, it's not like making flower planes or okay, children play planes, no, like that. No, not that one. He's talking about real planes, of course, made of flowers. Because he's drawing the parallel of that Pushpak Viman in which Lord Rama flew from Lanka to India. He didn't fly in a simple flower, chatai plane or something like that. He carried a lot of people in that one. These are evidences for us. Foretelling events by seeing signs. We say, no, nimitta matram. So if you see someone walking with a bucket, if the bucket is full of water, then that is auspiciousness. If the bucket does not have water, it is inauspiciousness. Many such things. Prabhupada also, wherever he was traveling and all, he will look at signs also. If their signs are not good, he will say, okay, today I will not travel. So these are not superstition. There is a science. We should have the brain to understand these signs, and Krishna and Balram are expert in that. They also learned the art of composing matrika. A matrika is like a crossword box with 3 numbers in each row. If one adds any 3 from any side, it will come to 9. The matrikas are of different kinds and for different purposes, Prabhupada writes. They learned the art of cutting valuable stones such as diamonds. And they learned the art of composing poetry immediately from the mind. So you say a situation, then they will actually make a song and poetically give that scene. They learned the science of the action and reactions of physical combinations and permutations. How you combine, maybe chemistry, how you combine different things, what happens? If you combine with different proportions, what happens? If you combine different things, what happens? This is chemistry. They learn the art of psychiatrist who can understand the psychic movement of another person. And as one more, they learned the art of satisfying one's desire. So sometimes there are certain desires we have which we cannot fulfill. Then that becomes a big problem for that person to move forward. But there is a technique by which one, even though cannot fulfill his desire, how he can feel satisfied as though that has been satisfied and move on in life. This is an amazing thing. And Prabhupada is saying By this art, one can also subdue sex impulses when they are aroused, as they are even in brahmachari life. By this art, one can make even an enemy one's friend or transfer the direction of a physical element to other things. Now, these are very highly elevated knowledge. So, with all this knowledge that they acquired, they perfected that. So, at the end of this training, what happens? At the end of all these trainings, the student is supposed to pay dakshina to the teacher. Uh, Common etiquette. Even today, we all do this. On Saraswati Puja Day or something like that, the children give gifts to the teachers. That is to acknowledge their contribution to the child, that respect, and we learn how to do that. So they now said, okay, now it is our turn to return the favor to the spiritual master. Of course, you can never return the favor what the spiritual master has done. We are ever indebted to our spiritual master. It's not like, okay, I will buy my spiritual master, I will pay so and so. No, that is not on. But our mood should be that I should somehow satisfy my spiritual master. So, when they asked, okay, what can we do for you? Then Sandipini Muni thought, okay, what should I ask? He and his wife discussed. And they were thinking, this is not ordinary children, right? They are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What should we ask now? No, we can't ask simply, okay, give me some money or give me something else. Or even act as though, oh no, your happiness is my happiness, all that. They know this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They know what is in my heart. So let me not be trying to act. Let me tell what I really need, what is bothering me now. So they say, they decided to ask for the return of their son who had drowned in the ocean near the shore at Prabhasa Kshetra. Her son has drowned and died. Now you ask these two children to give me a son. Is it reasonable ask? Not possible of any human child. This is the Supreme Personality of God, and they knew that. That's why they asked for that boon, or rather Dakshina, Guru Dakshina. And Krishna and Balram, when they heard this, that the teacher, from their teacher, that their son has died like this, they said, okay, we will go and do it. We will ensure it is done. Take it that it is done. That's the level at which Krishna and Balram can say that. Nobody else can say that. So they immediately started for Prabhasa Kshetra on that chariot. Reaching the beach, they asked every power has its deity, the controlling deity. So rivers have, we call Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati. There's a person Saraswati behind that who controls that entire river. So like this, ocean also has a controlling deity. They go and share in this shore, and then they ask, Mr. So-and-so, please appear now. Ordered. Then the person, Hare Krishna, what can I do, O Krishna? Okay, my teacher's boy drowned here. Can you please send him back? The kind of, he orders, he doesn't request for anything. He paid his obeisances on that Prabhupada is writing. I order you to return him, Krishna is saying. The ocean deity replied, the boy was not actually taken by me, but was captured by a demon named Panchajana. So he remains deep into the ocean and he looks like a conch shell. So he says, your son of your teacher might be within the belly of the demon, having been devoured by him. Krishna and Balram, oh, is it? What can I do? Okay, I go back to my teacher and say, I tried, boy was eaten by a demon. What can I do? What else can I do? Please tell me. I can't do this. This is not Krishna and Balram, right? Okay, let me go. So he dives deep into the ocean and goes to that Panchajana. And he didn't even ask him, hey guy, did you eat this boy? He just smashes him off, kills him, and opens up his belly. And he doesn't find him there. And he took that conchal also. Okay, this body is a conchal kind of a thing. You know what kind of a demon he was. So he took the demon's dead body in the shape of a conchal shell and returned to his chariot on the beach of Prabhasa Kshetra. Okay, now he knows this fellow is, I don't know whether he's eaten or not, it's not there anyway, I've killed him, his body is like conchal, okay, let us take and move on. So he then decides to go to Yamaloka. So he starts, from there he started for Samyamani, the residence of Yamaraja, the superintendent of death. So Balram, both of them go, Balram and nothing, accompanied by his elder brother. Balram, who is also known as Halayuda, Krishna arrived there and blew on his conch shell. So Yamaraj appeared, pays his respectful obeisances. And he knows immediately who's this, not these two boys. He knows this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna and Balram. And he says, Master, what can I do for you? So, you should immediately return the son of my teacher. Krishna's immediate order to Yamaraj. Yamaraj immediately returned the boy to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Krishna and Balram brought him to his father. The brothers asked if their teacher had anything more to ask from them, but he replied, My dear sons, you have done enough for me. I am now completely satisfied. What further want can there be for a man who has disciples like you? My dear boys, you may now go home. These glorious acts of yours will always be renowned all over the world. Then he says, I will give you a blessing, even though you don't need my blessing. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But nonetheless, I will give you a blessing. And he gives some blessings. He says, I give you the benediction that whatever you speak will remain as eternally fresh as the instructions of the Vedas. Your teachings will be honored not only within this universe or in this millennium, but in all places and ages, and will remain increasingly new and important. So Prabhupada is writing, due to this benediction from his teacher, Lord Krishna's Bhagavad Gita is ever increasingly fresh and is renowned not only within this universe, but in other planets and other universes also. Being ordered by their teacher, Krishna and Balram immediately returned home on their chariot. They traveled at great speed like the wind and made sounds like the crashing of clouds. All the residents of Mathura who had not seen Krishna and Balram for a long time were very much pleased to see them again. They felt joyful, like a person who has regained his lost property. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 55th chapter of Krishna. Krishna recovers the son of his teacher. Hare Krishna. I end here. If there are any questions, comments, welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the class. In parts of the class, I think even I flow down to my childhood, where certain games and parents taking care. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. That's Krishna and Balram, and Prabhupada's way of saying it so beautifully. He transports us there.
Yes, Prabhu. Certain parts, yes. No, I mean we are not Krishna Balram, but a part of the childhood did come. Part of parenting came up.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Nice, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thanks for sharing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna to all devotees.